There's nothing good in my life. When my insane family had access to hacking every single device I ever had, ever since 2011, I was able to buy my son's used phone. And that was hacked. The very first little tiny Android I had. It was hacked. I'm not allowed to have a computer. Or, I mean, people don't understand my insane lie cast tour, Pennsylvania little town where they love child molesters. And this is really disgusting for me to do. But it's what I had to do. I was forced to do my entire life. And this is disgusting for me to do, but I'm a real person. And what am I forced to do my entire life? I pledge of allegiance to the child molester because I'm forced to. Nobody cares. No church cares. Nobody does anything. Nobody does anything. Nobody cares. There's not one person who actually cares about a homeless person, because if they did, they'd put them up in a hotel for a week and then they'd allow them to live in a shack because they have nothing. And that's what happens to victims, that people steal everything from them. And that was my whole entire life. Always lied about. From asshole warlocks, like pretend a lot narcissists, who didn't know that he was a warlock, but, I was told, people like, oh, I might be a witch, too. In my life, I don't have anybody in my life. My life's horrible. I never had anything. I'm listening to Jesus' testimonies, and at least these people, I guess, partied, and, that's not where it's at, but, it looked, they might have had fun, and I don't get this world at all. All I ever needed was my own place. You live in hell. But, I can't even get that. Even though I have nothing because everything was stolen from me. And no one cares. And that's reality. That is reality. No one is real. Especially pretending like narcissists, the biggest piece of shit I ever met in my life. Who viciously attacked me. February 3rd made me want to die. And he can't accept the fact that he actually screamed at me for at least an hour. But not the whole hour. He took little fucking breaks, making it something to eat, talking on the phone. He took little breaks of shouting at me. February 3rd, in the evening of February 3rd. And I turned into February 4th, and he was screaming at me to get out, get out, get. I mean, that was one of my worst fights, and it's, even my husband hitting me. He was vicious to me verbally. I was viciously attacked verbally. It's not even being highly sensitive. It's just, he was just nasty to me. And the worst. And making me want to die in his apartment. I will never go back there. That's why I would never go in this car, because he's the only one who probably told me, get out of the car. I'm calling 911, just like he did February 4th. But that's the way a narcissist is. They find their favorite victim, and that's it. And he talked behind my back all the time. I child molested. I didn't know that. I didn't know he said that about me. In the very beginning, when he met me in 1999, and he's swearing that it's Alex that I changed at a diaper changing table. Well, they weren't babies. They weren't. He's claiming that he saw Alex as a baby. That's how delusional he is. He said that his memory, a narcissist's memory, is zero. Doesn't remember anything. And I'm like, wait a minute. Alex is like 3 years old, or like in 1999. Like, he's both my children are born in the end of the year in November. So he was like 3 years and like 2 months old. So it wasn't Alex. So he doesn't even know what child it was. My youngest is 2 years younger, and then they were not babies. So he has no idea what he's talking about. But but he gaslit me so much that like I didn't remember. I was attacked so viciously. I was traumatized so much. I never had a place to live where I was not attacked in the place where I lived at now. And then in my horrifying town, and I will call it Liecast Tour. I will call it that because there's nothing good I can say about it at all. I never got any help but late Susan Chappelle. And even then, um, I just had a rotten life. No support but late Susan Chappelle in 2010. No support at all. Nothing for me. Nothing for Tara. Not a dollar for Tara ever in my life. The worst of the worst. And when you're talking about dumb, Glenn, my one of my ex-boyfriends, like made me go out with him for like 7 years. When you're talking about him, yeah, he tried to get me a Chinese meal whenever he got paid. And that was it. But I had to put up with all of his hell. Like right now, I'm smelling plastic. And that's hell. The hell is that plastic? I swear, everywhere you live is like haunted. Things that, why the hell do I smell plastic for? Oh my god. Plastic is awful smell. You know? Um, this world is not right in any way. And yeah, God came down. Well, look what we did to God. He was a good homeless guy. He was a good guy who helped out the homeless, right? I mean, like, and they went and killed him for no reason. And so that's a big red flag that, is Earth hell? Why would you be judged? First off, Jeff Fenholt, who was in Black Sabbath, I believe he died September 11th, 2017. He was taught wrong that you choose Jesus. Everyone says you choose Jesus. No. No, God, I don't know what happened, but nobody knows what happened. Maybe God was like fragmented up. Like, who knows what happened? So, like, Satan and Jesus are on the same levels as, being very powerful, but God overpowers Satan. Um, but they're both equal in their powers. And who knows what happened? Maybe Satan fragmented God up, and God was fragmented into this world, into the fucking hell earth, and God already knows who's his because of it being that way. I'm just making that up, of course. I mean, you can only speculate from what the Vatican took everything out. I do not believe in any of the Old Testament stories because they don't add up. It's not real. The Noah's Ark, you get every single animal on that ark. lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, with the elephants and giraffes and the alligators and the rhinocerosauruses, and really, and go try to find that sloth and that little cute little panda bears and penguin. Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm I'm brainless. Yeah, sure. I'll believe anything you say. Prodigal son. Yeah, right. There was no dad in this world that ever gave their son half their inheritance before he died. That never happened. That's a story. Job's a story. In fact, in real life, that could never even have happened. Job, all the the thieves, they came, they killed all your cattle, they killed all your workers. But I was the only one who escaped. I was able to come back and tell you. All the servants died in your house, along with your 7 children, and everything got burnt to the ground and everything. But I was the only one who survived, and I'm the only one who could tell you. Yeah, little gingerbread man. um, um, what the little stupid story about the gingerbread man? Um, and the Adam and Eve story, we were born in incest, and then you go and you actually talk to fake, well, people who are brainwashed with that. Okay, but I had to put up. God did come down to the earth as Jesus, but he would not have died if he didn't know the whole story. So with God's plan is to destroy this earth in fire with God's blood that was already shed for his own. So we're not waiting for God to come back at all. God's waiting for his own to stand up and destroy this earth in fire with his blood, which I wouldn't know how that would happen. But God's blood is the only thing that's worthwhile on this planet. Well, I heard a few testimonies last night, and I can say honestly, when I say my prayer, dearest Lord Heavenly Father, and I ask anyone to take my prayer too. Dearest Lord Heavenly Father, please take away all the negativity, all the hell that an abuser might have put in my life, all the hell that pretend a lot narcissists put in my life, and replace all that hell, all of his hell, with your peace that passes all understanding by the precious, powerful blood of Jesus, who is God, who conquers the wickedness in heavenly realms. Because there is power, wonder-working power in the blood of Jesus. That prayer is my prayer that kept me sane, and it's an excellent prayer. The Hail Mary is only supposed to be for Mary. And why people don't know that, it's like the Catholics worship Mary. In the Catholic Church, there's a Mary, you pray to Mary. What? And then they have the Pieta, which is a huge statue of Mary sitting, and she's like, um, her robe is massive. It's usually in white that you see it in churches, like on the side, like a big, huge statue of white robe, white, you know, totally double sized of little tiny Jesus, like Jesus would be dead, skin and bones, and she's holding him. And that's not what happened. Although women, I always, my husband, of course, when I talk, I go off the point. And that's the way I was abused. Tragedy, like when I something pops in my head and I talk about that, and then, I don't stay at one point. Well, look how much I was abused. That's natural for me to do that all the time. Nobody cares that I was traumatized to death, especially pretending I'm a narcissist. He's my worst enemy. All this bullshit that comes out of his mouth, and I'm gonna help you out, and I want to die. Well, I mean, he makes me want to die. So how's that helping me out? Screaming at me, and all throughout the night of February 3rd. But he was trying to gaslight me and saying, "No, no, no, you're the one who argued with me when I came in. And it was all about that argument about your son. It was all," and I was like, "No, that was only for not even a minute. Didn't even last a minute. Me saying something about my son, it was no argument, but that's what a narcissist will keep on saying their same story over and over and over and over until, oh, well, Tara's a child molester and a prostitute drug lord. Oh my God, this is what all my enemies say behind my back and left me in the dark. And put up the Tramp of Lancaster in 2012, but they erased it, then they took it off. Well, it's not up there, is it? Yeah, because the higher authorities that helped them out had that access to me. I'm tortured my whole life. So yeah, I can say that I was secretly sex trafficked on my Facebook in 2012, the Tramp of Lancaster, and they put up the ugliest nude picture. And they still use that ugliest nude picture with another picture that I beat someone up to say, well, look at these two pictures. A picture paints 1,000 words. Well, look at the two pictures. Well, she did that when beat up that person when she was on drugs, and look at that, the ugliest nude picture in the whole wide world. Look at that. And I was demon possessed, and I erased it within 24 hours in a short time period. Like when I woke up the next morning, I deleted it from my phone, like approximately 12 hours. But they had that, and they hacked that up on my Facebook. My family. He ruined my life. And Liecast horror. And I'm allowed to say Liecast horror because of that little story that I just said. I'm allowed to say that. There's nothing good about Liecast horror. They never ever helped out a victim that I know of. I don't know one victim that they ever helped out. In fact, they keep domestic violent couples together. They don't care if a woman's beaten up by a man. They do nothing. But nothing's done anywhere. But why do people say Liecast horror is so good when it's not good at all? I don't get it. Scary fucking place where all these backstabbers are. Cold-hearted people who backstab, who gossip, and it's disgusting. And again, there was a gentleman that talked about, who the hell would want to work at McDonald's? Because they will gossip, and they will. Why the hell would you want to be around that? Just people gossiping and all that. It's a job that would take you away from one main abuser, and that's all that I ever lived with. So it's better for me to work somewhere, and that's a little bit of respect. And where I lived at, every single place I lived at, I had no respect at all. Like paternal narcissist is the latest abuser that I had in my life, and my husband died. So they were the most two recent total abusers. And I was raped all the time. And that was all due to the Tramp of Lancaster being put up 2012. they love that. And then I was video raped. And then one of my really, really bad boyfriends, a prostitute killer, he video raped me all the time. I didn't want him, but I didn't know that he was. So I didn't have glasses, and I didn't know that he was a prostitute killer, and I kind of figured it out. They're not gonna. A child molesters will never tell you they're a child molester. Um, the rapist killer will never tell you that. And then there's women that are married and they don't know that their men go out and they rape and kill one and come back to their happy family. This is how awful this fucking world really, really is. And nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares at all. A sick, 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 sick world that you live in. Gossip, gossip out the ass. Talking about all these old, ugly old men, maybe at wherever restaurant or bar that they have. Oh, that, they're a whore, they're a slut. Now wait a minute. Is it consensual sex? Well, let's go talk about the child molesters. Let's go talk about that. Don't talk about, people who have consensual sex, which is wrong, which is, you get nowhere. It's, I guess your life is fragmented. But half the world, half the women should kill themselves because they're forced-on prostitutes. Because they are sex slaves. The truth. And the truth doesn't set you free down here on hell earth. That's all it is. And you can't take away sex trafficking or drugs because if a government official would close that down, then it's opened up somewhere else. It's too high of a demand that people, that's their God, and that's what they do in this world. This is Satan's world, prince of the air, and you can't stop that little bit of evil. And I'm not like, that doesn't compare to raping and child molesting, the worst crime in the world, which is never ever dealt with. And you tell me who ever dealt with that. No one. It's not dealt with. There is no organization that helps out any child molesters. I mean, the victims of a child molester. Nowhere. There's no help for victims anywhere. It's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. God, are you serious?